Generation Z is spending more time on social media than ever. According to the Pew Research Center, 97% of teenagers use at least one major online platform like Instagram, X, the cesspool formerly known as Twitter, or TikTok. The study found a higher percentage of teenagers report spending hours a day online and having increased anxiety because of the increased social media use. And while that study focused on teens, we can all use a lesson in being careful with how we use the internet. Joining me now is Stephanie Tech Life Steph Humphrey. She's a technology and lifestyle expert, and she's the author of a book. I love this title. Don't let your digital footprint kick you in the butt. Stephanie Humphrey, what is the digital footprint?
Well, your digital footprint, thank you for having me, Mark. Your digital footprint is any and all of your electronically connected activities. So that's the first mistake people make. They think it's just your social media, but it is those Google searches, it is your email, it's text messages, group chats, anything that you do that gets connected to the internet or goes out over a cell signal can be considered your digital footprint. And any of that is susceptible to getting you into trouble. So think about all of your digital behavior, and that becomes your digital footprint.
Whew, that can be scary for me. I'm thinking about like career stuff, like what did you do in your past? And then I'm thinking also about the active fear, you know, like bosses keeping tabs on workers. How real is that fear? And what are some things we can do? What are some things we can do to avoid ruining our careers?
I think we all need to be thinking very actively about how we show up online in a number of different ways and who might be watching the things that we do, because it's all tied to our personal brand. And I know that term gets overused a lot, but it's real and we all have one, and we all need to be thinking about how our digital behavior is connected to that personal brand, because it's inextricably linked, basically. So we have to approach our digital footprint with intention. Every time you go online, every time you touch the internet, what are you doing? What are you doing it for? What are you going online for? We have to sort of start breaking ourselves of that habit of mindlessly scrolling and mindlessly posting and mindlessly double tapping and commenting and allowing ourselves to be pulled into these crazy debates and arguments and beefs with people on social media, and be very intentional about our digital behavior. It can be very easy to get comfortable online when you have that perception of anonymity. You have that perception that it's going to go away. You know, Snapchat got you thinking that those snaps are going to disappear and things like that, but they really don't. The internet is very searchable. The internet is very recoverable. Everything there sort of lives somewhere on a server that can be searched and recovered. So you have to think with a level of permanence about the things that you do online.
Wow. Well, what about this artificial intelligence thing? Because that only makes things worse. Because now not only do I got to be responsible for my behavior, but I also got to be responsible for these deep fakes, these people who are creating fake images, fake voices that could have people thinking that I'm out here calling Dallas Cowboys fans human garbage, when in fact it could be somebody else pretending to be.
Right. Now we have to add a level of... Exactly. We have to add a level of scrutiny and digital literacy to everything we do now, because you have to look at everything you see online with a side eye. You got to give everything a side eye. You have to trust but verify everything you see. So that's going to add a whole different level to how we interact with the things we see online. We have to be very, very careful, because the deepfakes are getting very good. It's getting harder and harder to discern what's real and what's not. And it's going to really change how we interact with the internet going forward. It's a scary time now.
Right. And the scary part for me isn't just the fake stuff, which is very scary, but also harassment, stalking, predatory behavior. I mean, how can adults protect themselves? But also, how can we protect our children? And what kind of conversations should we be having with them about how to get and stay safe?
Well, the thing is, you have to have the conversation, number one. I think adults tend to believe that their children are digital natives, as they say, and that as soon as you give them this phone, they're on their phone all the time. You assume because they're on their phone all the time that they understand what that means and the responsibility that comes with it, and they don't. And it's an ongoing conversation. So you need to continue to have conversations with your young person over and over again. You need to check in with them regularly and often about the things that they're seeing on the internet. They need to feel comfortable that they can come to you when something happens that makes them feel a little bit unsure or shaky or uncomfortable. They need to know that they can come to you. So that's the kind of conversation that you want to have for with your kid. The technology almost doesn't even matter. You're not going to be able to keep up with the technology, just FYI. I think that's where parents get into trouble because they think they need to know what the latest and greatest things are and how to navigate. And I don't understand TikTok and I don't get the technology almost doesn't even matter. You just need to let your kid know that they can come to you when they don't understand something and you can have that conversation together. So just keep
Absolutely.
talking. That's the best advice I can give to
Just
a parent.
keep talking. I could do that. That part I could do. I don't understand this tech stuff, but I understand how to keep talking. Stephanie, Tech Life, Steph Humphrey, I love you. I love your contributions. A technology and lifestyle expert and the author of Don't Let Your Digital Footprint Kick You in the Butt. Make sure you purchase that book.